Welcome back to Visual Trigger.
You know, I really, really, really meant to do this more often. And I didn't. And you know the funny thing is, there was some dude, I don't know if it was the last time, the time before last, whatever, because I don't even remember when the hell that was. And they're like, well, why don't you just like go drink more and bitch about like Canadian DPs? I'm pretty sure it was probably about midnight. I was probably tired, and I may have had an ounce of whiskey or scotch or whatever I was drinking. So yeah, no, that wasn't the case. But I think we'll have a little George Dickel tonight. This stuff is ridiculous. So there's a secret. Like, if you're going to go find the Whiskey Advocate 2020, 2021, I don't know when the lists come out. Let's just say 2020. You're never going to find those. Even the ones that weren't as expensive as a lot of others. So what I do is I go like a year back, and this was the number one. George Dickel. Let's see. Oh, it wants me to put it in front of my face. Oh, you rat bastard. Okay, that's good enough. So I'll have a little George Dickel. See, that's like a shot. That's it. It's not like I did 4 fucking takes. I'm not like a YouTube guy. I mean, even though I guess if I'm on YouTube right now, I'm technically a YouTube guy, but I'm not. Oh, dude, this is lovely. Yeah, I think the next one, it was like 2019 Whiskey Advocate. The next one down was like $8,500. And sorry, there's lots of great scotches out there, but, and I know I've had exceptionally expensive wine. People are like, why would you ever drink wine that much? It can't be that good. Okay, so perhaps I don't have the scotch or whiskey palate that the guys who do those tests do, but yeah, 8,500. Nope. So I honestly, I didn't even look on YouTube. The last time I actually, you know what? Let's see. When you can't see my fingers, right? No. Let's see here. YouTube. When's the last time your channel, YouTube Studio? So it was number 24. It says it's been a little while with a little sad face. When did I do that? Oh, let's see. Content. That was January 2 of this year. Holy shit. Oh, and before that, it was December 20th, and that was pretty sure Canadian DPs are essential workers. It's a joke. It's a joke, but people gave me shit. They hated that. They hated I said that. Actually, that was the most downvoted things I ever got. That's fantastic. It's probably the same 7 Canadians. I don't know. I mean, I love Canadians. Oh, I said a fucking God damn. Whatever, it's been a while. Son, this is not the Fuji X-T3 filming. And it's going to be cool because, first off, this camera allows XLR, more than one XLR input. It doesn't have, it won't, so when I would edit the T3 clips together, it would break them up in all these little tiny pieces on it. Yeah, it's not that big of a pain in the ass to put them all back together. However, I also ran a separate soundtrack on an audio recorder, which, I mean, it's fine. It's not like this is not going to a client. So, and even then, most clients can't tell the difference between anything, literally. Everybody would have you think that they can't. The audience can't tell shit. They're not that sophisticated. That's pretty. So this is the Sony FX6, and I've done quite a few client jobs now with it, and I like this camera a lot. It's having a dedicated like video. I mean, it's a Cineline camera. Having a dedicated video camera, way different than a DSLR. And I've been using DSLRs to make whatever the hell I made with them since like '09, when the 5D Mark II, when I had one of those, when I was still shooting that crappy brand. And I, I look back to that and all the limitations, but the, I did what I had to do with it. I made what I had to make. So, it's like today we can't really make excuses for the gear, because the gear is so damn good. Even, let's just say, the last 10 years, you should be able to do almost any job with any gear produced in the last 10 years. And I'm talking from Phase all the way down to a fucking Rebel. There's no excuse. There's really no excuse. And it's funny because even though I haven't been doing this often, I mean, okay, so it's like every 5 months, I got going I got going good at first. I can't tell you. COVID was a weird experience. I mean, for all of us, I probably didn't have to deal with as many people as a lot of people did, but it was still a trip being semi-isolated. We still have friends. They got 3 masks on. They probably doubled up. They probably have 4 vaccinations. They haven't taken off the Biden sticker off their truck or their Prius. So, I mean, people acted batty during this whole thing, and I know I'll get shit for that too. And you know what? I don't care, because clearly I don't do this for the money. There's probably like 5-6 people that I care to say what's up. That's about it. But the equipment we have, we should be able to do any job, and maybe that's less so in motion. In motion, the stuff that we got within the last 2 years, and you know what? I can only really speak to I've used cameras that I rented, but this is the first one I own. I like to own shit because I don't want to say, oh, I feel like I want to shoot that tomorrow, even though I'm not hired to do it. So I want to go rent it. Oh, it's not available for 2 weeks. So it's way better to own stuff. And I know people who I don't even think they own a lens. And they'll say, oh, that's different. Yeah, whatever. You can think that's different. I like owning a camera, and especially this thing is a beast. I'm constantly blown away when I'm grading something. And it's funny because the monitor that's hooked up to it, it's running actually the Fuji X-T3 LUT for Eterna on this FX6, and I just made sure that I really kind of probably overexposed by like a stop. And I mean, my key is 5000K. My little kicker up there is 3200 with 2 red scrims, and then there's like a little background kind of thing. It's just like it's got barn doors, but it's a LED flood kind of thing, turned down kind of low. I mean, I don't want you to see it. I mean, I'm shooting at f2, so you can't really, I want someone to see all my gear back there. I guess that doesn't make me a YouTuber. You got to have like some shitty brand behind you, or I don't know. For some reason, that's stronger than I remember. It's been a little while since I've had some. We had Mexican food last night, and the guy who owns the place hooked us up with a couple shots of it's called Villa. Oh, what the hell was it? I tried finding it for about an hour last night, and nobody has it in the States. One place in San Francisco does, but I'm not so sure. Villa. What the hell? It's called Pueblo Viejo. That's the stuff. There we go. It's also $22. Ridiculously good. Of course, you can't really find it real easily here. I checked Bevmo's and Total Wine and More, nothing. So I guess when I go down to California, I'll try to ferret it out. But having gotten to know this camera since, let's see, I got it in, that's another reason. Because the last time I made one of these was January. And I got this camera the first week of February. And I've just been shooting nonstop with it. It's unreal. I would tell myself that, shooting with mirrorless DSLR for video, it's fine. You don't need anything else because you do what you need to do, and clients haven't said, "Oh, why don't you go rent a bigger, more expensive camera?" They never said that. But this makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. And I'll tell you what, so I used to do unit photography I did a movie, and I'm going to do a whole thing on that fucking movie. In fact, I've got to find the scans because it was absolutely ridiculous. I just don't know what I can say without like pissing off that producer because they were such... I mean, these are people who would sue you, and just on the off chance they could get a dime out of you. But the first ACs always had, if they rarely were on the side of the camera, rarely they would be. I don't even remember if I watched them directly on the follow focus. But that shit is made by, well, the one that I saw on every set was made by Preston, and they were made in Santa Monica. The hand controller was $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. Each one of the motors, $3,000, $4,000. Plus you needed batteries and cables and all this shit. Would it be nice to have one of those? Oh, holy hell, it would have been. But those crafty bastards, they came up with the Tilta Nucleus Nano. I swear I think it was $300, and that was a motor, the little hand thingy, and then I bought this other little thing that fits on a 15mm rail. Because I have one that was made by Cinovate. It was bulletproof. It lasted me 10. I mean, it looks, there's barely a nick on it. But it was made by Cinovate, the Canadian company. See, those Canadian DPs know something. Well, at least the ones who make the little follow focuses. But it was always a pain in the ass. This Tilta Nucleus Nano thing is ridiculously good. I bought custom. well, I don't know. I don't know if they're custom because there was a drop down menu for them, but I have a 21 f4, 31 2, 51 4, and a 135 28, all Leica glass. And interestingly enough, all of them were made in 1971. And the 35 and the 50 are not mine. They're on a long term loan, and I'll probably end up buying them from my friend. I tested those for the last few weeks because I completed my little set, and they're gorgeous. I mean, I'm not saying the Sony glass isn't great. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. But there's just, I don't know. I'm not like, I don't know, like a fanboy, but their glass is pretty. And this stuff has that a little, it's just, it doesn't look like the current coatings of like the 90s or the 2000s. So I just had a focus gear made for my Nocti, so it'll be interesting to see. And that was made in like 1981. Made in Canada too. So I'm not a total Canada hater. Yeah, that, I don't know why it seems really a lot stronger than it was prior to. I don't remember the last time I had scotch. Probably a couple weeks ago. But I'm sure that if the same dude got notified that I made one, he's gonna be like, oh, he's drinking again. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, having the XLR in here, I can literally do almost nothing to this. Put like that header, that leader thing on, and fade it to black, and it's there's very little I'm gonna have to do. I almost thought I should do a 4K one just for the hell of it, but I didn't. Maybe at some other point I'll do a 4K one. Not that it matters. It's me sitting behind a freaking desk, and you know when I'm looking at this, and there was another guy who was like, you look off the camera like 2 inches, and it's really bothersome. Look, dude, it's for fucking free. Tell someone who cares, basically. Someone who this is what they do. They sit and they YouTube all the time. And even then, I mean, would they really care? They might care. They might care. I don't fucking care. I wonder if I get flagged for using like all that profanity, because I know I've had a challenging relationship with Facebook for the, let's see, since the last, from June going forward of last year, Facebook has acted really weird for me. It's almost like a waste, Facebook, but it's like not quite like LinkedIn, but like for Facebook, I kind of I guess I have to be there because clients will ask me to say, hey, check out that thing that my competitor did video wise on Facebook. So yeah, I guess I could always get a burner under a proxy, but it's not like no. Facebook has been really odd, and I don't know. YouTube probably would be. They must have some kind of like, what's that thing that recognizes all the songs? Oh, Shazam. They have some Shazam thing for like profanity. They have to. That's. You know what? Does it say how long this take has gone? It just says time code. I never really noticed if it said. So there's two monitors. There's the Sony's one, and then the small HD one. The Sony one's not bad, but in this LUT, it's very strange. It makes you look like you're lit by. Oh, you know what? I have been out in my vineyard a lot. Huh. Yeah, I got super dark for a while. I used as much sunscreen as I could, but don't know, maybe it's because it just feels very sharp. So besides COVID, which I mean, in the U.S., it seems as though it's. I mean, there's pockets of things that are happening, but it seems like it's getting better. People aren't wearing 15 masks. And then there's the people who go the opposite way. And I ain't wearing no fucking mask. Okay. That's my freedom. No, dude, I watched someone do that in a grocery store, and people just were. It was like people are nutty, especially right now. I really hope that this is gonna be the brunt of this is behind us, and we're in the U.S., so it seems like it is. I know in India and Europe is still not doing super hot, so will I travel? I haven't really made up my mind about that. A lot of shit's going to be shut, so I don't even think travel for me. I mean, would I travel around the US? I think so. Worldwide, I don't know. I had a discussion with a friend the other day who was one friend's going to Europe in August and another friend's going in sometime earlier in the summer, I think. And I thought, would I do it? I don't fucking think I will. I really don't. I was like, I look in these monitors and try to figure out exactly what I can see back there. That's interesting. But I really did mean to make these more often. I had a year-long project last year. And what's funny? I actually have an interview I did with my kid who's also a photographer. I meant it's on a hard drive. I should just put it together because it's probably pretty easy, and I think it's got a separate audio track. Yes, it does. I didn't have this fancy beast yet, but well, I honestly hope this finds everyone good. Everybody's the COVID is behind them too. Yeah, I don't know when I'll make the next one, but there's I don't know. I know I will not leave this camera sitting on that magic arm mounted to a baby nail onto the wall. I mean, the screws, I put 3.5-inch screws into a stud so it can hold it. It's just, don't think I'll just keep it there. And in fact, the reason I made this tonight is because I was putting gear away because I shot yesterday for a client for a launch of something, and well, video for them to use for their rollout launch kind of thing. And before I put it back in its case, I thought, maybe I'll go on YouTube and say hi. Anyway, I hope it finds everybody well. Till next time. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Take care.